Hey, check out today's video to see how I ran 2 miles every day for 30 days for the month of March with no rest days. I'm not a distance runner, and I do have an old leg injury from high school, so I really didn't think I would make it past 30 miles before my legs started to bother me some. However, I thought this challenge would be a good test for my body and just to test my leg out and see how many miles I can put on my leg. And all of the miles that I run will go to this awesome organization called Running Works. Now, I have ran in a few 5Ks each year, and I currently still do for an organization called Let Me Run. It's a nonprofit. But outside of that, I really don't do a lot of distance running. So I was really apprehensive going into this challenge, not sure what the outcome would be. Never really took most of my running too seriously until about June 2020. That's when I started keeping track of how many miles I was running each week and how many miles I was running each month, and started to kind of set goals in the future that I've been ticking off throughout the year. One of the main reasons why I chose March is there's a challenge called Miles for Meaning, and you can participate in it through an app called Kilter. And each time you run a mile, your mile is donated to a nonprofit organization to help them reach a goal. So I wanted to run 30 days and do 2 miles each day, which would add up to about 60 miles roughly. And you'll have to stay tuned for the rest of the video to find out if I actually reached that goal or not. Below in the description section, I will provide links to the websites of the two organizations I mentioned, Let Me Run and Running Works. And I'll also provide links to the 2 apps that I use, the Garmin app and the Kilter app. I only really have 2 main goals for this challenge. 1, to run 2 miles or more every day, and 2, to run under 20 minutes, but I'm not going to focus too much on time, but I just kind of want to keep it close to that 10-minute pace. If I go 22 minutes or 21 minutes, that's fine. For those of you that are wondering, I am 5'7" and I weighed 159 pounds at the beginning of this challenge. So you have to stay tuned at the end to see what my weight was at the end. But keep in mind, I'm not really focusing on my diet. I am a pescatarian. But outside of that, I'm not really changing my diet or doing anything outside of what I normally do. There are actually some days I probably ate more than what I normally would on a regular day. Overall, I was very pleased with the results of the challenge. My first goal was to run 2 miles every single day, no rest days, run every day for all 30 days, regardless of how I was feeling, and to also keep it under 20 minutes or right around that 20-minute mark when I'm running. So I wasn't trying to run too fast or too hard. Pretty much every day was just kind of like an easy day or a medium day pace-wise. And then if I felt like I could go a little bit faster or pick it up a little bit, then I did, but I didn't push myself too much. Because again, I was worried about my leg bothering me 10 or 15 days into this, which it didn't. So I was glad that didn't happen. Throughout the challenge and throughout each run, there were kind of 3 things I just kind of wanted to focus on. The first thing was to make sure I did a warm up and a cool down before each run and after each run. And number 2 was obviously just run every day. And then number 3 was to take a picture or a quick video message after my run. And I posted all of those on Instagram, so you can feel free to check out my Instagram page, Mr. Checka. The most difficult part of the challenge was running every day. Most of the days I felt great, but there were some days I just didn't feel like running, and most of the time that was due to whether the weather was bad, I was tired from work, I was busy with things going on in family life, or just other things in general going on in life. But most of the time, if I thought about my goals and then I thought about how I wanted to be a better runner, that usually helped me focus, and I was able to get started warming up, and then after that I would just be ready to go. Stay tuned at the end of the video for some helpful tips to help you get started on your own challenge. Now let's check out the results from my challenge. Overall, I was pleased with the results of the challenge. I improved my endurance, and it also allowed me to start to build a less stressful lifestyle. About 85% of my runs were outside, and I did about 5 or 6 runs on a treadmill. Again, there were no hard days. I didn't push it and go out full out any of the days. There were a few days where I ran pretty fast and I was really surprised by that. But again, I just kind of went based off how my body was feeling, and I just kind of listened to my body and did what it was telling me it could do. And as a result, I ran all 30 days, 2 miles without needing a rest day for any of the days. And nothing was hurting at the end, which was great. So also I was able to keep my pace just below or near that 10-minute mark for all of my runs. There was one occasion where I actually was able to go under 8 minutes per mile for both miles. And then there were 8 times where I ran under 9 minutes for both miles. So I was very pleased with the results of that, especially when I wasn't really pushing myself and I was just kind of focusing on my goal. And sometimes I was even like just really in deep thought, which that's another reason why I've really started to love running. At the end, I did end up losing some weight. I lost 6 pounds. I started off at 159 pounds and I ended up at 153 pounds. But I didn't really monitor what I was eating. I just kind of ate how I would any other month, any other time of the year. But like I mentioned before, I am pescatarian, and I started being a pescatarian a little over a year ago after I gained a lot of weight and I just wasn't really happy with what I saw when I looked in the mirror and just how I felt with all the extra weight I gained. So that's why I also made that diet change a few years ago. But outside of that, I just pretty much ran and ate like normal. I'm not a pro, but I do have experience running and coaching runners. So feel free to ask any questions you have about running or just about your own running journey below in the comment section. You can also leave tips or advice for other runners as well. Also, I came up with a few tips for you to try if you're interested in doing your own challenge. The first thing you need to do is make a goal, and then to help you make that goal, you want to pick a distance or a time that you're comfortable with. And then you also want to focus on a time frame or a focus for that goal. And then just always remember, you can make adjustments as you see fit, and just listen to your body throughout the challenge. And try not to take more than a day or two as a rest day throughout the days of your challenge. Next, you want to make sure you come up with a workout. And just kind of to help explain it, I'll explain it as plan A and plan B. So plan A, you could warm up, and then you could walk for 20 to 30 minutes each day or run for 20 to 30 minutes each day, whichever one works for you. And you don't really want to worry about your speed or how far you're going. You just want to focus on completing your goal, which is to walk for 20 minutes or run for 20 or 30 minutes each day, whichever one you choose. And then at the end, you just want to do a cool down. And then once you finish, you can come right here in the comment section and you can leave me a comment to tell me how it went. And then plan B, what you could do is you could run for 5 minutes, walk for 5 minutes, run for 5 minutes, walk for 5 minutes, run for 5 minutes, walk for 5 minutes. That would be a 30-minute workout altogether. Make sure you also do a warm-up before you run and a cool down at the end. And as you're doing that, you're running and you're walking for 5 minutes. Just focus on your breathing. So you just want to breathe in through your nose and breathe out through your mouth. Nice deep breaths. You can worry about all the other stuff after you get in the motion and get in the pattern of doing that workout. And then again, you can come right back here in the comment section and you can leave comments and tell me how it's going. All right, here are 5 helpful tips to help you with your challenge. First, you want to make sure you pick a pace or a distance that you're comfortable with. Then you want to make sure you pick out your clothes the night before or at least a few hours before your run or walk. Then you want to make sure you prepare some water so you stay hydrated before you go out running, or bring it with you if you're traveling somewhere to run. Then you want to make sure you listen to music or a podcast while you're doing your run or walk. Lastly, make sure you track your progress using an app as you go out on your runs and your walk. Again, none of these tips are groundbreaking. The most important thing is for you to focus on your goal and just stay active. If you're a runner or you're thinking about running more, please leave comments below telling me about your running journey, or you can just ask me questions. And if you want to, you can also follow me on Instagram for weekly running thoughts and inspirational messages at Mr. Checo. Thanks for stopping by. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and like the video if you haven't already. As always, be good, be great, get better. See ya.